Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So a while ago I got a request for a reading from a subscriber, and the person wanted me to make a reading about chakras and how in alignment they are for you. So I have prepared a reading specifically for that. Alongside the four piles you'll see in the lower part of the video 7 stones, each representing a chakra, and I will be taking cards for each stone representing, for example, from the first one, amethyst, the crown chakra, to the last one, the root chakra, which is represented by the tourmaline stone. So we've got this in order. The first, amethyst crown. Second will be the third eye chakra, which is lapis. Third one is the throat chakra, which is aquamarine. Heart chakra is represented by the rose quartz. Solar plexus by the tiger's eye crystal. Orange calcite by the sacral chakra. And the last one, black tourmaline, as I said, the root chakra. So what will this reading be about? Basically, you'll see from the photo I will attach here, it will be first card, it will be about the state of your chakra. The next card will be as well about this, but as well with a hint towards like either opening or keeping it in balance. And the last one will be a card about an advice or what you can do to basically rebalance basically this chakra. So for this reading, I thought I would make 4 specific piles of different tarot decks. The first pile will be from the BD Tarot deck. The second pile will be from the Light Seers tarot cards. A third one is the Modern Witch, and the last one is the classical Rider-Waite tarot deck. So keep in mind one thing, that if I happen to mention information and it doesn't fit for you, then most likely this is not the message that was meant for you to keep. That means if a chakra doesn't resonate with you, that's all right. Or if the reading in general doesn't resonate, maybe pick another pile, see how that one resonates for you. But in general, I think it is quite interesting to see and check yourselves in regards to how much you like keep your chakras in balance, because as I saw, I was doing a little bit of research on my own in regards to how a chakra would be considered to be open and closed, or some people even say it could be too open, or yeah, something along these lines. You'll see if it is about you, then yeah, that's awesome. I guess that's all I wanted to say in the introduction. See you in each of your piles. Hi, pile number 1, those of you who've chosen the BD Tarot deck. So beginning with the first chakra, in this reading will be the crown. So for the crown chakra you have the 8 of Swords, the calling card in reverse, and the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. So specifically for me, the crown chakra resonates or means the connection you have or the established connection with the divine. Also, it is the how objective can you be in situations, and how you can access the greater picture, and your ability to basically switch between your subjective perspective and the more objective. So you can guess from already from the 8 of Swords that this is talking about disconnection and not seeing the bigger picture, or being engulfed in the subjective reality and needing a connection or a practice to reestablish the connection with the universal aspect or God, basically. So if you were to ask me Is that chakra open? I would say, you know, you have to work on it basically. If you are not feeling that connection with God as well, crown is about purpose, is about soul purpose, how connected you are to this life, and your connection to the cosmos. So I wrote in here this, and I think with the Eight of Swords, you have a little bit of balancing and work you need to do. Moving on to the calling card in reverse. So you might be having multiple wake up calls, or nudges, hints, or synchronicities, but either you are too busy, or you could be as well ignorant of them, or it's like that attitude, like I don't have time for that stuff in my life, or you could be so, as I said, like engulfed in the physical reality, so much so that it is difficult for you to access or have this perspective. I'm not saying that you don't have it necessarily. I'm saying that there might be a blockage in here. And I also thought about this card, like lacking universal connection to one's true purpose or calling. So you need to be trusting the divine timing or the divine orchestration. And as well, I felt like there are people who can connect to this, but for you, you'll have to work on it basically. And it is all right, because I at times can fall into the same category. Like, this is speaking so much truth to me as well. So no worries, trusting the journey, and embarking on that idea of like how I can better explore that connection, how I can better like open up, and release resistance, release and surrender, to the universal aspect, or to the overall, like, if you believe in that, of course. But if you're here for the chakra reading, most likely you are. So you could be as well entrenched in time, or entrenched in the physical aspect, and forgetting one's true nature. So for me, that means that thing I have been talking about, you know, how well you can switch between your subjective and objective reality. And some people can actually like obtain that through meditation, or other practices like prayer, or whatever works for you. I've heard people working this connection through yoga as well. But this is very personal, so I cannot really give an advice on that. It's just a hint for you to address it. So the advice card will be the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And it is about taking time to address and connect to spirituality, higher power, seeing beyond the material realm, and dedicating time and intention to God realization. And I wrote here as well prayer and meditation, if you resonate with that, of course. So keep in mind, nothing is lost, and I prefer to go with the destination consciousness, and not the destination. Wait, what did I say? I prefer to go with the journey consciousness and not the destination, because if you create a goal, or if you feel like you're not there yet, you can create that inner frustration. And see it more like a journey of like unfolding your qualities, unfolding your true power. And it is really nice to see the um, signposts, if I'm correct, and the hints or the directions from the universe, and really enjoy the ride. That was all for the crown chakra. We're moving on to the third chakra, which is the Seven of Wands, the self-trust card, and the Two of Pentacles upright. So I'd like to say here that I would consider this card to be a very good thing to fall on the category of the third eye, because also it's like it can be balanced, but you're not knowing it. So seeing much and not saying much, basically, or seeing much and knowing much, but not trusting or giving credit for oneself, or basically not trusting your own like intuition here. And for this pile, I felt like it is very much evolved, but for some reason you're not tapping into it, basically. Not relying on their intuition despite it being very accurate, not using their intuition as well. Interesting thing about this pile, because Seven of Wands is as well a very defensive card, and you could be very connected to the undercurrents in your life or what's happening in the background, reading people and sensing stuff about them, but being like very very like detached or not trusting this. So this is a reading reminding you to be more reliant. That doesn't mean to be too reliant on this ability, but it is to um, say that as well. With the self-trust card, which is the next one, is to trust more in your intuition, basically. Self-trust. So I wrote down in here, trust and experiment with the inner knowing. Explore things with your intuition and not your mind. Trust yourself and your instincts or your insights. Feeling relative to life situation. Okay, so feelings. That's like going about in your life and not necessarily relying only on the mind capacity to solve problems, or not only relying on that capacity to basically read and assess people, but as well feel them, because you can be very much like the problem in here with this chakra, as I would see it, it is not about it being closed off, it is about you not trusting it or not using it as often as you could, basically. So the next card you have the Two of Pentacles, which was about the advice. Experiment, explore, discover life through the lens of your intuition, and you can rely on it too. So the Two of Pentacles for me is like 50-50. That means, see what you can feel, see what you can perceive through your intuition, and give it a chance. I usually, as well with this card, I would probably like feel things, assess the insights I have harnessed, and basically see how accurate they were. And if they were accurate, then I would congratulate myself, basically. And yeah, this pile does have inner knowing, being very connected to their intuition. So you shouldn't be having or shouldn't be experiencing issues with your third eye chakra. Moving on to the throat chakra, you have the Three of Wands in reverse. Now that's interesting. The state of this chakra could be considered as well like a bit closed off, because I felt in here remaining silent and not speaking up, being shy or afraid to say what is on their mind, or having much to say, much on their mind, but not saying it. You could as well be introverted, or this is like introverted, but in quotation marks. And for me, it means there are people who can be authentically introverted, but in your case, you could have been conditioned to like remain silent or not speak your mind. So this throat chakra is basically, I forgot to mention this, like the throat chakra is all about like speaking up your truth, authentic communication, clear communication, and stuff like that. So with this Three of Wands in reverse, you might be having people from the past with whom you didn't express things, or you're like that person who will remain silent in an argument, either because you don't consider it worth it to use your energy on it, or yeah, something along these lines. But with the Three of Wands in reverse, I'd say you have to work on authentic communication. And yeah, interesting card. Of course, if it resonates, that's great. The next card you have relationship, and in combination with Three of Wands in reverse, lacking clear communication or authentic sincere talks in relationship setups. But this could be as well beyond relationships, but of course Yeah. Taking the blame or seeming so by not speaking up. So that was like as well a message in relationship with the Three of Wands in reverse. So the next card is the Lovers. The advice for opening this chakra would be compassionate, sincere, and honest talks oriented towards mutual understanding and harmony, as well constructing constructive criticism, caring, clear communication, kindness oriented or kindness driven. That means you can initiate conversations or you can initiate contact with people, um, but they have to be innately like very responsible, kind, caring, compassionate. But it is a huge sign for you to not close off and to speak your truth more often in relationships, life situations, and not only like remain on that like setup of like I will remain silent if that resonates with you. But I felt like you have potential here of much like a person who has much to say or person who has a lots on their mind basically. And with the lovers, you have the necessary like conditions or the relationships are okay for you. Some of them are really safe for you to express authentically what you feel, and I think that would help you in regards to feeling better and feeling seen, understood, and like you don't have to live separately in like a parallel universe where you feel unheard and misunderstood. Moving on to the heart chakra. So for me, the heart chakra represents the connections you have with people, the love you receive, and the love as well that you give. How loving you are towards yourself and towards people, and how comfortable in general you feel about inviting that resonance into your life. So with the heart chakra, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Stable, balanced, loving, joyful. This could be as well playful, having potential. Okay, having potential, I wrote in here that while it is great to have the Queen of Pentacles in the reading for this chakra, I would consider this to be an okay thing. Like this chakra can be considered okay or balanced. But having potential is meaning that you can expand this. Like you can expand this feeling or you can work on it if you'd like. But overall, this chakra feels to me like it's all right with these cards. Um, yeah, I didn't write much on this because I thought like, yeah, joy, openness as well. You have the joy card next, like right below it, which is a great card to fall into this category, and as well the Queen of Cups. Awesome. Like for me, joy is about openness as well, and having a very big heart and having a very like primed and you know a huge potential in loving, like loving people, kindness, cultivation, like serving people in like a very harmonious way. And okay, last card, Queen of Cups from this chakra is open to receiving through love, emotion, well intended, equal give and take, give and receive. Yeah. So this is like a hint or a message from the universe or from the cards that this chakra is doing fine, and you can like do the maintenance really well with this Queen of Cups as a hint or advice card. So I think I will not stop on it as much. Keep in mind only to maintain that and to trust and love that and appreciate that quality that you have about yourself, which is lovely and great to have, really. Next card is solar plexus. I was reading about this chakra because I was not very familiar with it, but it is correspondent to the capacity to feel confident or to assert ourselves or our identity into this world. You have the Nine of Wands, the uplift card in reverse, and the Eight of Cups. So, issues in regards to being out there and expressing themselves with confidence, or having had negative past experiences that impacted self-esteem or self-confidence. Honestly, sorry. Honestly, like I felt like this solar plexus thing, having the nine of wands card, is like being afraid to be out there, or being afraid to receive compliments, attention, whatever, or being really reluctant to generate action towards that. And I was like, okay, this has to be worked, this has to be mentioned in here as I was writing this. With the uplift card, regaining self-empowerment and assuming responsibility over one's well-being. That means not relying on other people's like opinion about you, and really, like, I know this is easier said than done, but you will not have to wait for people to give you the validation for you to express and be out there. That's what I felt about this chakra in regards to your reading. Accepting as well criticism and negativity, but being as well very much detached from it, or seeing how whether it is for you like a constructive criticism, whether you should be like attentive to it, or whether you should be basically detaching and really ignoring it. For some as well, this will be like going through the negativity. So that means expressing yourself out there, doing that thing, but being conscious that you will feel uncomfortable, and really not bulldozing yourself into not forcing yourself to be out there, but accepting the fact that the discomfort that you'll feel towards actualizing your empowerment, your confidence, and self-esteem will be a road that is going to be a little bit rocky, but it will be manageable. The discomfort you'll feel, I think, will be about your feelings, and you'll have to transition from one to another. So how does that look like? I want to give an example for it to not be so abstract. That means, for example, if you really have like a passion project, but this project requires you specifically to be out there and to express yourself to a public, like a lot of people basically. And if you're afraid, and if you have like that nine of wands energy in regards to that, like exposure and feeling afraid of what people are going to say, because this is a passion project and you are really like excited to do this, you'll have to accept the feelings, you'll have to go through them, and to be out there, not despite the feelings, but with them. And like, I've seen these people who step on a stage and start either talking, singing, but before they do that, they say like, I'm really anxious about this. Like they say it in a very playful manner, and people are very supportive of them. And maybe this is like a very brave step, I would consider that, because many people will advise you to basically ignore these feelings, like bottle them up or pretend they don't exist. But I consider the greatest people, the bravest, are those who are capable to be vulnerable and step into the world while expressing and acknowledging the feelings of vulnerability that they have, uh, which is really beautiful and sincere. Um, a very sincere thing to do, I believe. So that was a lot for this chakra, but I guess you needed that. Okay, so the last card as an advice is the Eight of Cups. Walking away from the past, or from fabricated judged identity imposed upon you. So if you're that person who is carrying like stuff from the past in regards to their self-image, for example, someone told you some negative thing about you, either about your looks or about your character, and you have internalized it, the Eight of Cups is saying like, Don't be stuck on that, and create or work on an identity that is strictly self-fulfilling, so to speak. That means really cultivate things that you consider to be valuable strictly for you. That means if I really like kindness and people are saying like don't do that, people are going to profit off of this, and some people will envy, for example, that quality, I will not have to listen to every person's like opinion, because I know what I want. So this is as well not listening to people's expectations about you and creating your own expectations in a healthy way, and setting healthy goals, intentions that are going to be aligned with your highest good and not the world's highest good. And that doesn't mean I'm like encouraging for you to be really alone and self-focused. No, that means respecting yourself so much so that you are listening to your values first. And with the Eight of Cups is not placing as much importance on the people who are going to dictate or tell you what to do, because I feel like with this Eight of Cups, you could have had people, very important people in your life, like, I don't know, parents or like close relationships that were really like intrusive, or people who had the audacity to impose things upon you. And because you were like a very um, attuned person, you could have given them that like luxury and to listen to them and to mold and change yourself in relationship to their like commentary. But that's not all right. That's not fair. I would consider that like this is not fair in regards to yourself. And I feel like you will have to step away from all the things that are being told about you to you and are being dictated upon you. And that in time, with this solar plexus chakra, you will actualize a very powerful self confidence and self image that is going to be fueled by your own validation and not the people's, which is going to be an awesome, extraordinary foundation for your character. Next up, we have the sacral chakra. With the Seven of Wands, I wrote in here, okay, like accepting their experience as valid and normal and natural. The sacral chakra, I remember I read about it being correspondent to the how well you feel, how connected you are to your feelings, connected to your to this world in general, to sexuality, and to worldly pleasures. And I would consider with the Eight of Wands things to be all right, and for you to have a very healthy relationship with experiences, and validating those experiences, like emotional ones, as like a part of you, and really like not being as much like proud, because that's like the extreme, but really like accepting and loving about the experience that you're having in this world, which is awesome. You have as well, by the way, the surrender card in reverse, which is going to be covered in a minute, and the Six of Swords in reverse. So, by the way, with the surrender reversed, I can say one thing: expression in all ways and forms, accepting their expression as something unique and valuable for this world, permitting oneself to experience life and thrive in it. Honestly, like, I'm surprised because this is like Eight of Wands, very good card, and then the Surrender card in reverse, meaning that as well this, while it is open, it has huge potential. And the potential in regards to this person who's watching, it is about not acknowledging their value, not acknowledging their creativity and the innate uniqueness that comes as a byproduct of their presence into this world. By the way, like, I don't know, but surrender is, you're still having some doubts, you're still having some things that are keeping you back, like keeping you stuck, or somehow like blocked from fully expressing into this world. And I think you should be more like acknowledging the fact that there is like you are a one in a kind, and the things that you're going to create, they are irrepeatable. And when I say that, like, I mean everything. Like, if you're creating art, if you sing, whatever it is that you're doing, if you're dancing, then it is unique in such a quality that there is not going to be a person who's going to replicate it in the same way, or create something new from this blueprint that consists of your identity, of who you are. And as well, this doesn't have to be only about like art, singing, whatever. This can be as well the way you talk, the way you walk, or the way you prepare food. This is not going to be this is not going to be repeated. Like, this is one of a kind. Like, you have to really, really think about this and appreciate the thing that you're a unique expression. And with the surrender, it's like giving yourself the full permission to live and express into this world in all ways possible. And the best ways for you will be about what you enjoy doing, what you're passionate about it, what you're passionate about. And please, please do that, because if you're going to sit in that like energy of surrender in reverse and withhold that expression from the world, it is going to feel to me like a missed opportunity, or like a star who was not receiving the all the attention or all the recognition possible. And that would be like really sad, because I read in a book that all people are very unique expressions of the source or of the universe. And I think we should treasure that. And at times I'm really thinking, can we actually take ownership for that? But at the same time, like, maybe we can, because we're participating in it. But we truly have to acknowledge the meaning and the how precious this is, that we are so like different, and we can enjoy sharing a space of that shared like difference. Like, how a group of artists would regard each as being very beautiful and expressive in their own ways. Last card as an advice, Six of Swords. I wrote in here, permitting oneself to experience life and thrive in it. I guess I read that. Unlocking and trusting in their own emotions and self-expression. Yeah. So I think that's all for the sacral chakra. We're going to move on to the last one, the root chakra, which I consider to be, like, I read about it, and it represents stability, finances, security, both financial security and physical, or safety in general. With the Seven of Pentacles, I felt instability, shaky foundations, false beliefs, or false beginnings. Careful to examine and really think, and find out how strong are the foundations in your life, and seek ways in which you can, like, either work on them or reestablish things or foundations on important stuff. Financial issues, this could be as well alertness or ungroundedness. You'd benefit from grounding. Next card, financial freedom in reverse, and Nine of Cups. By the way, with the Nine of Cups, the answer for opening this chakra is very simple. With the Nine of Cups, it means really listening to yourself and being connected to one's emotions as well. But this pile can have this capacity to complicate things, so much so that it becomes like really unbearable, and life seems so complicated that and so entangled that it's really like unsolvable type of thing. So, alignment through understanding one's nature, releasing resistance, and learning to trust life through trusting one's own direction without attachments to beliefs or outcomes. Feeling unconditionally as well, healthy interactions, relationship with the physical aspect. So, when I see the root chakra in this context, with these cards in reverse, this can as well be the case for people who can be out there in the spiritual, for example, but they at times overlook the importance of the physical aspect, like not placing too much importance on it, but at the same time you have to actually acknowledge that this is a valid part of your experience and places equal attention to it as much as you'd place attention and importance on the spiritual matters. So I guess that's all for your reading. First pile, I hope you enjoyed. That was like 32 minutes. That was a lot. But I really hope it resonated with you. It gave you the necessary insights to work on your chakras and opening them. If you did enjoy the reading and it resonated, please like the video and comment in the section below. And make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and check out my old videos as well. I'd be very glad to meet you there. Take care. Bye. Hi, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the Lightseer's Tarot deck. So we are starting off with the crown chakra. You have here the Eight of Swords in reverse. So Eight of Swords in general would be considered like, for this chakra, you have work in progress. Work in progress for this like opening process of the chakra. You could be experiencing some like setbacks, temporary setbacks, or this only means like you're working consciously, or it could be as well unconsciously, on re-establishing a better connection with God, universe, source, higher purpose as well. I wrote in here with the Eight of Swords in reverse, non-connectivity or working on their relationship with God, universe, releasing resistance, on their path to connecting with God, spirituality as well. So this Eight of Swords thing is completely fine to have in a reading. Keep in mind, like, nothing is set in stone. You can still like work your connection with God and not consider it to be like, as I said in the beginning, destination thing, but enjoy the journey and, you know, really take time to enjoy the process of like rebettering and reestablishing that connection with God, universe, because this journey can as well be treated as something that is worth like experiencing. Like, don't be fixated upon like this perfect state of all the chakras, which can be like really nice to have, but we have to as well enjoy the ride and not be perfectionistic, so to speak. So overall, the state of this chakra could be considered like a bit closed off, but as well, because it's in reverse, I consider it to be all right, like in regards to you're working on it, or you have already done the work that is facilitating the opening of this chakra. The next card, you have the truth. Seek higher purpose, reconnect and invest in self or into spiritual pursuits. Seek out the truth or the higher perspective. Seek out ways in which you can actualize your highest purpose and thus obtain inner peace. So what can I say about this card? The glaring truth for this pile is right in front of you, and you could be like, you know, the answer in opening this chakra can be really simple and like really sitting on the tip of your nose, this truth card, but and it's more simplified than you actually think. Like, if you are thinking about a purpose for yourself or a spiritual pursuit, it is way simpler than you can complicate things. That means it's not as really rocky thing or a rocky journey to actualizing or opening this chakra as either many, or it would be like classically considered considered it to be like complicated. No, the reality or the truth about your purpose is really, really, really simple. I'd say it's just about being, but you can layer this answer as much as you want. And in specific like relationship with your own definition of purpose, but I would definitely like seek out what does it mean for me inner peace, and how can I acknowledge it, how can I cultivate it within myself. And I feel like you're going to be supported. If you only set the intention, you'll find the right circumstances, techniques, or ways in which you are going to acknowledge or like as I said, actualize this connection to God, universe, source, the divine, whatever it is for you. Page of Wands in reverse, that will be the advice card. The last card is the advice. Experiment, explore, challenge the old ways, try out new things that will facilitate spiritual connection. So that was overall like all for this chakra. Interesting thing to have, the truth card. God is closer than you actually realize, by the way, with this truth card present in the reading. Next up, we have the third eye. Congratulations, by the way, with this Queen of Cups. Your third eye is very, very, very much open. Very lucky, fortunate card to have in this category for this chakra. Very active, connected third eye chakra, perceiving the world, intuition. Okay, so perceiving the world with your intuition, and perceiving the signs clearly, vividly, clear visions or clear insight, seeing deeply. Interesting thing, you have positive focus in reverse. Because this state of your chakra is feeling to me like it's all right, there isn't much I can say in here, but the only thing that can be concerning is the Emperor in reverse, and I can say like please, please, please be careful to not overly exert that ability. That means like don't overly like trust this faculty, and use others as well. Like try to balance things out. Like I would say that this pile is really powerful and very good at connecting with their intuition and perceiving the world, but be careful to see the world not only through the lens of your intuition, because I believe it's like this situation where a painter decides to only like paint black and white, or like for example big two colors like blue and white, and only operate on these. I would like your experiences to be multifaceted and release control over like life through trying to perceive everything to 1000 like percent. Okay. Release control over the things you perceive, or don't stress on overusing it. For some, having a good intuition but not using it quite often, or don't try to only rely on your intuition. Okay, I think that's all for this chakra. We're going to move on to the next one, which is the throat chakra. For this chakra as well, like I can say like congratulations, because you have the Nine of Cups. So first of all, what I can say, ability to express and tell what's on their mind, balanced expression, appreciate and value that skill and thrive. Basically, that's like all. But one thing I can basically highlight with the Nine of Cups is you mustn't have or mustn't experience issues in regards to self-expression. You can as well like leave people on scene, or leave people on like hold with your response. That means you can be that person who's going to express, tell everything that's on their mind, and like deal with it. Something something like this basically. So I wouldn't think that this pile is experiencing blockages or issues in regards to their throat chakra being blocked. Because I see in here a treasure, where this Nine of Cups is like as well a wish fulfillment card. And it means for me, like, honestly, it's like a feeling of, my ability to express and to tell whatever is on my mind is my greatest like asset, is the best quality ever. And I think with this nurture card and the Empress card, you should be really proud of the fact that you have this skill or this quality to express yourself clearly into the world. And I don't think I have in here something specific that would be worth mentioning in regards to the blockages. If, of course, you might be having issues with communication and this doesn't resonate, then this could be like hint or like an advice for you to basically be out there, speak up your mind, tell the truth and tell whatever it is that you're experiencing, like as you do, like to a person who can listen. That means with the Nine of Cups, tell everything that's on your mind and don't care as much for the camouflage of the truth or something like this. But overall, I think that this person who's watching is having no issues at all with communication or like speaking or telling things to people in general, because it's a very lucky, fortunate card as well with the Nurture and the Empress. Like, great stuff. I really love that I see these cards in here for this category. Third eye chakra, the throat chakra, the sun card in the heart chakra is like awesome thing. I will move on to the next card because they can be as well really positive. But for the heart chakra, you have the sun card. I don't know what to say in here because the sun card is the best possible metaphor or element for the expression of love, because the sun is giving, like is giving for every single, like it's shining on every single aspect, like despite or in really indifferent of the reciprocity basically. And you can be a really good, deep and sensitive and loving person, very affectionate. Like your heart chakra can be very much considered open and balanced and all right. Reveal the mystery. It feels to me like you could be as well a person who's going to love people in such a quality that's going to be considered unbelievable, or some people will even question your motives, but they will like try to project their insecurity or their fear upon you. I would say as well with this card, reveal the mystery is, I don't know if I should stress this out or not, but like really love and expand through love in general in your life, and be open to giving that energy to people in general if you don't feel depleted, of course, and you really feel like you can't contain this. Because with the reveal the mystery, it feels like you can express more and you can give more if you choose so, or if you have like an overflowing cup. And this is a very balanced thing to have. Like, don't give love if you feel depleted, but if you feel like overflowing and you don't mind giving that energy to other people, like I don't think you will experience issues on this like chapter. But with the um, judgment card in reverse, like this is the last card as an advice. Don't overly exert yourself. As I said, like give love when you can and when it feels necessary and right for you, and when you will not feel like this is a burden to have, or to have have like express this. Like if you feel like people are profiting off of that thing, then basically care to interrupt or care to really withhold your energy from like vampires. But Very lovely, wonderful cards in that chakra thing for this heart chakra topic. I would even dare say that, you know, the universe or your spirit guides are very proud, are very much appreciative, and uh, acknowledging the fact that you are very evolved through this like capacity to love, to give and receive, like to be out there, which is awesome. Okay, next chakra is the solar plexus. Solar plexus, as I said in the previous reading, is about self-confidence, the expression in this world, like how you put yourself out there, how you present yourself to the world, or how comfortable you feel about doing this, or how much you feel, how good you feel doing this, like bringing your identity into this world. You have the Hierophant in reverse. So what I can say in here is a person who's having a very huge good potential for asserting their individual, like powerful identity into this world, or having lots of talents or valuable skills to be really like praised and expressed into this world, and to receive the feedback. But for some reason with the Hierophant in reverse, you could be withholding that, or the Hierophant in general is a very traditional card. When it's flipped, it talks about breaking traditions, and this could be the case of a person who has a lot of like powerful insights, information, wisdom, knowledge, but will withhold their expression into this world, either of the fear of like rejection, or of being judged or misunderstood. Something as well, like hints to me about this pile, like withholding really like a treasure, like a huge like treasure which is being hidden or withheld, because some people in here are having issues with self-expression, or really afraid that they are going to be perceived in the wrong way. Yeah, and we have the perceive card right below it. So you could be very like self-conscious about your looks, about the way people see you, the way people literally perceive you through this card, and really being afraid to make the wrong impression. I would say care less for the impressions and for the opinion of others, and really care for you to feel comfortable who you are and who you represent, and don't let the small stuff like gossip, whatever people are going to say, because the reality is people are going to be negative. But if we are going to be positive about our own self-image, about our own way of being, then either it will not participate or not even register in our reality, or we are going to just laugh it off. You have the that's like that angel card, I forgot how it's called. Okay, yeah, it's the temperance card. Well, balance things out. Don't enter extremes, or don't participate basically in extremes behavior, in which, for example, like you can care too much and then don't care at all, the way in which you're going to be perceived into this world. But trust yourself more, trust your way of like trust your intelligence, trust the mechanics behind the way in which you operate, the way in which you think, and um, really think and feel this world, because the Hierophant card is really like a very powerful identity. Solar plexus in general like governs the identity, so lots of people in here are not valuing themselves, they are not valuing their authenticity, uniqueness, their own ways, their own expression. Like As well, some people could be in here, that type of demographic, who are going to be really like, for example, good artists, really like professional artists, really like advanced in this, but they will not get a degree, for example, or they didn't go to art school, and they would consider themselves to be somehow inferior because they didn't have this official um, study type of like diploma, whatever, and they will not fully acknowledge and like validate their proficiency because they don't have this official thing. Please don't, because actually like your value in here is really like infinite. It's really um, beyond your judgment, beyond your standards of assessment. And I would say seek out the positive feedback, and you'll see how much people appreciate who you are. So that was all for the solar plexus. The advice for you to open this chakra would be to trust yourself more, to be out there in the world more, and to not fear how and what people are going to perceive. Know that many are actually imposing their own insecurities, flaws, and it doesn't necessarily has to be about you. Sacral. Next, sacral chakra. King of Wands. I think this is the best possible card to get in this because honestly, like, sacral chakra corresponds to creativity, sexual energy, vitality, I guess, and emotional well-being and emotional acceptance. They are like physical expression, and you having the King of Wands in that category, which honestly, like the King of Wands is about drive, fire, impulse, instinct as well. Very, very powerful card to have in this section for the sacral chakra. That means everything seems fine, or everything is all right in that regard. You have the sacred geometry as well. You could as well you could as well be the person who's going to challenge the status quo and not be afraid to do so. Very bold, serious, stubborn as well people who are going to really accept their expression into this world. Like, I love that you have this card. It means really for me that you are connected, or you have this chakra in order. You have the ace of wands in reverse. It can be only a small warning, and the warning is going to be in regards to that energy of the King of Wands. It's like this is going to be two extremes. So that means if you're overly indulgent, if you're overly like fixated upon the material or the physical pleasures, then you'll have to temper yourselves. If you are that person who's going to be more like shy, and this is more your potential I have described with the King of Wands, then you are being invited to not doubt yourself, to trust yourself, to not be afraid to live this life, because the sacral is all about like experiencing life on a very like a felt physical aspect, and it feels to me like you really don't have to um like, I know from like the past that the sacral being blocked can be linked to shame. Solar plexus and sacral for me are like really a little bit similar, but um don't be afraid to express the way you are authentically, the way you uh, are into this world, but not like in the throat chakra where you express like verbally, but it's your expression physically. And like, don't be afraid to explore like sexuality, the material world, the worldly pleasures. Be careful to not indulge in it, but I would say with the King of Wands, you are very primed for this pile to have this sacral chakra in order, or in general, like for it to be really all right or okay to like on an okay level to have this chakra like balanced. We're going to move on to the next and the last chakra for this specific pile is going to be the tourmaline, which is the root chakra. For me, the root chakra represents stability, financial freedom, foundations in your life, and you know how safe or how well you thrive into this like physical world. You have the Eight of Pentacles, which is a great card to have in this category. You can have material satisfaction. You can have foundation, like material foundations, for example. You shouldn't be experiencing troubles in general with this card in that category for the root chakra. The only thing I can mention in here is as well, because it's the 8, it is a good thing, but as well it has potential. So if you're working on your finances, on your stability, on your financial security, or in general on your security, then this is a sign that you're doing the work, it's happening, or that you're thriving in general. Like I would consider this to be very nice card to have in this chakra category. You have as well self-awareness and the Nine of Pentacles. So if you have issues with work ethic, or if you have like beliefs about work being boring or work being, let's say, tiring, then I would invite you to, through the lens of self-awareness, ask yourself and find ways in which you can happily and joyfully express yourself into this world, and transition between the work mentality and like doing things because you enjoy it, not because you have to. And I feel like you have much room for improvement for this. Like you have a huge potential in regards to finances, in regards to, because lots of Pentacles cards, like two cards with Pentacles, and in self-awareness, like there is like a hint, or there is like information that basically lies in the introspection that you can do, that is going to benefit you for opening that chakra more, inviting more abundance into your life, and as well inviting more stability, foundations, and structure into your life. I love what I see in this reading, to be honest. Like the only thing that is not currently well, let's say, managed, balanced, whatever, is like the first, like the crown chakra. But I've heard like if all the chakras except this one are open sooner or later, the connection to the cosmos is going to be established, which is only a matter of time. This pile doesn't give credit to themselves for the work and for who they are. And it is really like saddening, because you have a huge impact on people. You have a huge impact on your loved ones, on this world in general, and the world has yet to benefit and enrich its experience by your mere presence into this world. Like I don't lie, like this, the Queen of Cups, like in the third eye, the Nine of Cups in the throat chakra, the Sun card in the heart chakra, the Hierophant, like the Hierophant in reverse, like potential is there, but it's not being actualized. The King of Wands, everything's fine with this chakra, like, and the foundations, like chakra root, is like, I'm so glad to say that you are yet to uncover and to find ways in which you're going to balance everything out. But it's really like you're already doing a great job, whatever it is that you're doing. The inner work or the self-awareness that you have like harnessed as a result of your inner work, or in general the way in which you are like self-aware, working on yourself, whatever. Like I hope I'm not repeating myself, but this reading only comes as a confirmation, or it's indicative of the blind spots that you might be having in regards to your chakras. So yeah, if it resonated so far, and you enjoyed the reading, please like and comment below how it did resonate for you. I will gladly see and listen to your comments, curious to find out who is going to stumble across these piles. And I really hope to see you in the future. I guess that's all for this pile. Take care of yourselves and yeah, don't overly exert yourselves on opening these chakras because the universe is on your side and you're going to be assisted. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. You chose the Modern Witch Tarot deck. So we're starting off with the crown chakra. The crown represents the connection to source, God, universe, the divine as well, and how well connected you are to your purpose and the inner peace that you experience as a byproduct of this. You have the Two of Pentacles, the Expansion card in reverse, and the Nine of Wands in reverse. What can I say for this chakra is the fact that with the Two of Pentacles, the way in which this chakra is balanced is so-so, is 50-50, meaning that it's really balanced, but there is like room for improvement. Because you have here the expansion in reverse. In this expansion theme card means that there is lots of like work to do. There is lots of room for improvement for this pile in establishing a connection with their divine aspect or higher self. But overall, with the Two of Pentacles, if you choose so, you can work on it. But I would consider this to be a fortunate, like really like neutral case of a chakra. With the Nine of Wands, I would say to work on the idea of surrendering and not so much controlling everything, because with the Nine of Wands as an advice card, the more you're going to stress out about a chakra being opened or not, the more this is going to suffer, meaning that the more you can let go and trust in the world, in the universe, that it's going to carry you, it is going to show you the way along this like evolution of yours, along this expansion. You're going to feel relieved that you don't have to do the work on your own. Like you'll not have to strictly like work on this chakra alone. Like you're not alone in this universe. And overall, like I wouldn't like stress out about this chakra being like too open, like too much working on it. No, I guess and I truly believe that this chakra corresponds to the idea of surrendering, or how much or how well you can surrender to this experience of life, or this like how much trust do you place into the universal aspect to guide you and to give you the right path for you individually. So I guess like the only work that's on your side is to do your 50% of the work and leave the other 50% to the world or to the universe for it to care for you. And you just have to be with your intentions ready, I guess, with this pile. Like if you are into self-awareness, then keep on with this intention and everything is going to settle itself out. Next chakra, we have the Eight of Pentacles. So the state of this chakra could be considered like while you have insights, this is third eye basically. So you may have insights, you may have information, and like really be attuned to the worldly energies that surround your situation. But you can as well be at times closed off or too entrenched in some like things, such as, for example, you might be experiencing blockages to the way you perceive a person, because you might be, for example, like absorbed into an emotion. That means, for example, if you meet a person and you have like a preconceived definition about them, you might be struggling to perceive them clearly. That means you'll have to detach or somehow release that like perception of yours that came like emotionally and attached itself to the vision, and created that filter, and basically see things from like very neutral perspective. With the conjunction card in reverse, I would say as well with the 8, like you have work to do in regards to opening your third eye. And the potential for this chakra to be opened is a very fortunate one with the 10 of Pentacles. I truly believe that you can balance this chakra, like if you consciously invest time and effort in clearing your vision over like life in general, or trying to detach yourselves from your beliefs or from the ways, like the preconceived ways in which you have seen the world. For example, as well, this could be the case of people who have had experiences like negative experiences from the past and created beliefs that were um, that arise as a result of this negative experience. For example, you could have had, for example, a negative experience with a stray dog. Yeah, let's say that. And as a result, you might believe that all dogs are like this. And you'll have to basically detach and like not invest yourself into the like subjective experience that you've had. And the more that you're going to detach from this, the better you're going to be at perceiving the world, and thus like you're going to be capable of opening this chakra to a better extent, or balance it, because it's one or both. Next up, we have the throat chakra by the aquamarine stone, which is light blue. You have the Three of Cups, Integrity card, and the King of Wands. I feel like you might be experiencing situations in which you have a lot happening, like a lot of things on your mind, or like everything is like on the tip of your tongue, but at the same time you don't have the capacity or the ability to express fully or clearly whatever it is that you're um, going through. So you might have a very huge feeling or desire to authentically communicate your truth, but you might be experiencing setbacks or problems or issues in regards to achieving that. With the integrity card, I can say you're having still work to do, and with the King of Wands, this could as well be a situation in which you might be like overwhelmed by emotion, and this could impede you from fully expressing or authentically expressing everything that you're going through. With this Three of Cups as well, you can have a lot of connections or a lot of people who are not authentic, or the relationship that you've got with them is like either surfacey, or these people are not connected with your true experience, like your true being or your true authentic expression, meaning that either they don't care, like you can have people who really don't care about what you're going through, or you might be having like very surface level connections where people only enjoy like going out for a drink and having fun, but they know they don't have any regard or liking in your character or who you are. And this is like a little bit of a problem here, that if you were to open this chakra and like I feel, if you were to fully express and tell everything that's on your mind, the possibility is that these people might be going out, like leaving your life. And I would believe that this would happen for the better, but because of this inability to express truly into this world, like whatever it is that you're going through, to express it in a very clear, transparent, or um, compassionate or sincere manner, you might be experiencing actually like some untrue friends or lots of people but little like quality in that regard. And yeah, I would say with the King of Wands is to really care to inspect and find out ways in which you can understand yourself more. I feel like the more you're going to understand your nature, your own impulses, your own expression, your own like who am I and what do I truly, where lies my integrity, where are my values, and how you can go about expressing these like either verbally or in general into this world, the better this chakra will be balanced basically. But this indicates to me a little bit of work, like this chakra thing, integrity thing, card like Three of Cups. But as well, like, don't worry, like, we're all having our own challenges. This is all a shared experience and nobody's perfect. And I would approach this chakra with, but all of them really, with an attitude of let's see what can this experience of learning offer me. Like this feels to me like a challenge that you'd have to undergo, but this experience of the challenge is going to be really pleasurable and awesome to have, meaning that is not going to be like, don't take this opening of chakras as like a duty of yours, or don't transform it into a job. Take it more as an unfolding process of your own being, of your own self, and things will settle in a more like pleasurable, enjoy the right type of attitude. Okay, for the next chakra, which is the heart chakra, you have the Queen of Pentacles, the Soul Family, and the Emperor in reverse. So with the Nine of Pentacles, I can say things are all right, but as well there is room for improvement. With the Soul Family, you can be quite alone, or with the Emperor as well. It feels to me like this pile can experience a degree of wanting to be loved and accepted, but still being alone and somehow like isolated, because the Nine of Pentacles is a very singular card. I always experience this card to be found in contexts where like people are fine and okay, but somehow they're still singled out, or they find themselves on their own, even if the card is a really fortunate one and it expresses like this quality of abundance and happiness while still thriving as like a singular uh, person in a like in a whole universe type of thing. So with the heart chakra, I can say as well having potential to love in a higher degree, but still you have some blockages you'll have to uncover that will prevent you from feeling like finding the right people, and finding the right people specifically for you to give and receive love. So you might be introverted, you might be that person who was left out, or um, feeling like, I'm doing fine, but somehow I'm still alone. So you'll have to uncover and find the right circumstances in which you are going to be expressing your love. And with the Emperor in reverse, care to be less controlling over circumstances or people in general, like release control. This is going to be a message that is all about releasing control to all chakras, to all experiences, and releasing outcomes. But specifically in regards to this chakra, it's telling you to feel love, feel your feelings, and not actually like restrict and control and try to um, restrict this energy. Like, let the love flow freely into your life, and I don't think you're going to experience issues in that regard. With the soul family, I can say as well, like you might be experiencing like belonging issues, like as I said, like wanting to love and feel loved, but not having the right people right beside them for this like feeling of this pleasant feeling of feeling appreciated and loved to be actualized. This can as well be a feeling of yearning for belonging or yearning to love, or if you don't have a partner to love someone, but somehow you're still going through some lessons, or you'll have to uncover some blockages for you to truly experience that level of like love or unconditional love for you. But don't worry, like don't stress out on this. Just be aware of these aspects, and hopefully in time, with releasing resistance and surrendering to your experience, you're going to feel an improvement. Next up, next chakra is going to be the solar plexus, and you have the Knight of Swords. The solar plexus I read is all about self confidence, assertion of your identity into this world, and you know how comfortable you feel to be out there. And I want to say one thing, this is a very good card to have in the solar plexus chakra, because the Knight of Swords is someone who's not being afraid to be out there, and most people would consider or see you to be a very like confident, um, very well put person, someone who's not afraid to believe in what they believe. You have as well the healing card and the Queen of Pentacles. And honestly, with the healing card, it feels to me like there are two things that are really interesting to note about this pile is some of you could be like considered overly confident, meaning that you could be representing an extreme where you can be very self-aware or very self-conscious of the idea of how you present yourself into this world, but somehow there is an element of like either desperation or showing like a very advanced quality of like confidence, so much so that it raises questions, like it raises eyebrows, like how is this person so invested in that, like you know, these people could be considered to be like really like super extra independent, but this is not necessarily like a healthy degree of like super independent. Like this could be trauma induced, I believe. And for this case, with this healing, you'll have to you will keep the confidence, but the way in which you're going to express this confidence is going to be lowered a bit and not going to be seemed so like extreme and so out there, because the Knight of Swords is a very out there card. Like I can't lie, this is a very interesting, funny card for this case. And you have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, meaning that there are moments in which you're going to feel less confident, but this is like a secret. This is like a hidden, deeply hidden thing that you're going to be really vulnerable about showing to the world. Um, The thing is, I would work on like vulnerability, especially like knowing the Knight of Swords and accepting the fact that you don't have to be at war with asserting yourself in this world, or you don't have to prove anything to anyone, and that you're really okay on your own. And you know, for this pile, stop investing in the idea in which people perceive you, in which you perceive yourself, because you might be feeling drained, you might be feeling exhausted or yeah, tired, because you invest so much energy in how confident, self-conscious you are of your own self-image and the way in which people perceive you. Okay, so I think we're going to move on to the next card, which is going to be representative of the sacral chakra, and you have the devil. Honestly, the devil, the productivity card, and the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So, what I want to say about this is pretty interesting because, having the devil card in the category of the sacral, I don't know if it is a good or bad thing because, the devil represents the earthly pleasures as well. And the sacral I read is all about like indulgence and being careful to not overly indulge in things or to not be overly like hedonistic. And let's say it that way. Sacral as well is about like expression, creativity, enjoyment of the physical aspects of this world, and care to balance this. Like, don't be overly indulgent because I know the devil card is very much about too much pleasure, too much wanting everything all at once, impatience, and care to not manipulate or to not um, with the emotional things. The sacral is as well corresponding to the emotional expression, to the emotional acceptance, and like don't get driven by your emotions as much or don't indulge in the physical and try to balance things out. Overall, this case is someone who can healthily express themselves physically into this world, but they have to be really mindful and careful of the way that this doesn't become like unhealthy. So this will be very similar to the case in which like people say some chakras can be too open. Like for this case, it can be too open um, for the worldly pleasures type of thing. But overall, like you can balance it. So I don't see an issue here necessarily. With productivity card, you have lots of like self-expression to do in this world. That means if you are a musician, if you're an artist, be out there, present yourself more out there. Don't be afraid to be judged, like especially like with solar plexus message of like don't be afraid of what people are gonna say. Express yourself into this physical world creatively and really express more because you with the Four of Pentacles, I can say, withhold self-expression. Like it can be about you, and care to not get into this scenario where, for example, you can have lots of skills, lots of talents, specifically in regards to creativity, being creative, expressing yourself, but um, not doing that for some reason. Like, care to actually um, open this capacity, like externalize it. Don't let these like talents, these creativity, uniqueness be overshadowed by some fears of yours of how people are going to perceive you. With this productivity card, it feels to me like you could be that person, like the engine for the project, or someone who's very resourceful or really powerful in having the energy to provide to something being created, like a generator person. But yeah, care to really like tap into this power and don't overlook it. Lastly, we have the root chakra, which you have the cards of like Page of Swords, the Catcher, and the Death card in reverse. First of all, with the Page of Swords, you can have as well like some issues with foundations or feeling very fresh and like new in this world, or like feeling at the start. Um, the root chakra is all about like stability, financial freedom, financial stability and foundation into this world. And to me, the page doesn't quite so like represent stability, but it is a very daring card. And if you have been experiencing like lack of stability into your life, the power, the energy, and um, the actualization of this power and energy is going to happen, is going to create and give you more. Like if you have been lacking financially, this means that with your intention, with your drive, you can achieve pretty much anything, because the catcher is like a very universal card for me. You can have pretty much whatever you desire. You just have to set your mind to it. Like for this, people could be like, some people could be really lazy, or like I lazy not in the negative um, type of thing, like lazy because I felt like some people have to come to you and really inspire or give you a vision of what is possible. And when you receive that vision of what's possible, then all of the sudden you use your brain to connect the dots and create this manifestation of your desired outcome. But for some reason, like you need that kick, or you need that start of the engine before it really starts going, because the page is like very stubborn and focused energy. With the catcher as well, the death card in reverse, it feels to me like you must be given foundations for some reason, like by someone else, before you actually like decide to invest in them or create them and sustain them in a very like long-term manner. It feels to me like you could be that person who's going to give away their empowerment, their direction, or their ambition to someone else, or to someone else's guidance, or to prefer someone else's guidance to their own. And as well, with the death card in reverse, you might be like really set in stone on things that are not like working in your favor. Like you'd rather go in the old ways, for example, and sustain the old ways in which you're going to operate, rather than invite change. And it's not necessarily like a negative thing. When I say that, I mean that you could be like, I would rather test and work with things that have already been proven to work. But for this pile, for you to reinstate and rebalance your root chakra and your foundation, therefore, you're going to need to invite more like freshness, new things into your life, to trust, and to invite change, beneficial change that is going to be affecting you long term. Specifically, as an example, I would say, for example, let's say um, if you were to find a recipe, like if you bake cakes in a certain way, yeah. So if you're really stubborn on the idea that, I really know this recipe and I know it works and I have tried it many times, you can, kick things up a notch and use that recipe, but adjust it or find like variations of it from other sources. And in that way, you're going to re-better the quality of that like specific like cake, or you're going to feel much more delighted in the idea of experimenting things. Like you could be experimenting things or trying new things where the old ways are no longer proven to work. So I guess that's all. You can have really strong foundations if they are being set correctly. If they are going to be set incorrectly, then unfortunately you're going to have to struggle a little bit. And you have to use discernment where and what foundations in life you'll have to use, same as with this cake. When will be the right time for you to stay with the old things, and when will be the right time to check out with the new things or the new ways in which people operate, and where and how things can be improved for the better, even if it means abandoning or sacrificing the old proven like proof bulletproof type of like techniques, or yeah, as I said, ways. I really hope it resonated for you, third pile. If it did, then please comment below and like the video. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and make sure to check out my old videos as well. Take care of yourselves, and I really hope to see you in the future. Bye. Okay, pile number 4, welcome to your reading. So for your pile, you have the traditional tarot deck of the Rider-Waite. So I will start as usual with the crown chakra. For the crown chakra, you have the Four of Swords in reverse, the Labyrinth in reverse, and the Chariot in reverse. So I felt like for this pile would be relevant to say that you might be feeling unheard, misunderstood, forgotten by God or the universe, having experienced a lot of negative emotion, loneliness, and stress, anxiety, and being used to things going like not in the right direction, but it's like I'm getting used to it, like it's going in a very predictable way. Feeling left out by God. So what I forgot to say, like first of all, the crown chakra is representative of the connection you have with God, universe, your higher purpose, or the level of inner peace that you experience as a result of that relationship of connectivity between the cosmos and you. And most likely with these 3 cards, because the Labyrinth card is like a very complicated card for me in this context, and you know, I felt like you could be experiencing some setbacks in regards to this chakra. And especially like the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is usually a very static card, and if you were to ask me whether your chakra is opened or closed, I'd most likely say that you would have to work on this chakra for things to work out in your favor, because it feels to me like you have been experiencing some issues or problems or really like negative emotion from the past, and it has been impacting you. And you know, this pattern, this chakra feels to me like you would benefit from working consciously on establishing like a very personal connection with God, universe, inviting it more into your life. If you've heard probably the technique of letters to God, or establishing like a communication back and forth with God or universe, it would benefit you the most, I believe. And you know, it feels to me like with the Labyrinth card, you might be used to like postponing this problem, or you know, procrastinating dealing with the negative emotions I have mentioned, including the stress, the anxiety, feeling lonely or not connected. With the Labyrinth card, I can say you could be as well feeling or experiencing confusion, feeling scared or lost at times. You could be absorbed in your subjective experience or perspective. You could be overridden by the by this subjective like problems, or like very like immediate issues that might be like impeding the connection with the higher aspect or your higher self. I wrote in here entranced into the time paradigm or the matter. That means for me you could be like absorbed in the in your subjective life, or your like, you know, we have in Romanian language or the Russian language notion that implies, you know, a quality of being where you're so distracted with a lot of things happening in the now that you really don't have the space to connect beyond time with God, basically, in here. Not seeing the silver lining as well, and being too busy or too occupied with problems to basically seek out this silver lining or the higher meaning behind things, or feeling those. With the chariot in reverse, as this card is like an advice card, I can say you would benefit from surrendering through meditation, or just feeling and navigating negative experiences without making it mean something or letting go. So for you, I believe it would be to first of all seek a more conscious connection with God, meaning you should be establishing, I guess, intention to communicate or to with meditation. I think it's the best thing that you can detach. Like for this pile, connecting through this practice with this higher aspect would be most beneficial, and you'd benefit because it would lower the levels of the stress you might be experiencing. So I think that's all for this chakra. We're moving on to the third eye chakra, which has the Knight of Swords in reverse, as well as the non-attachment in reverse, and in advice section you have the Page of Pentacles. So sometimes with this Knight of Swords in this category, I would say your chakra sometimes being too overwhelmed or absorbed into emotion and not having time to listen and heed to one's own intuition and inner voice. So with this card, because I perceive this card to be very violent or very out there in the sense of emotion and feeling things, you might be like having this reflex where you would, for example, react to things. And with this non-attachment, I feel like, first of all, you'd benefit from sitting with your feelings or setting aside time for you to digest and process things, specifically in regards to even people, situations, and the next encounter that you'd have with that person or situation would make you more susceptible, or you'd perceive much more information from it, and therefore you'd listen to your intuition more if you were to digest that emotional layer that is preventing like clarity in here. So, non-attachment in reverse, needing to cool off, take time to process and feel before making assumptions, and before being able to see, before being able to see clearly a situation. That's exactly what I was talking about. Page of Pentacles. With clarity and silence comes the solution to your troubles or your situations, and issues tend to be solvable and workable. Plus, I wrote in here, intuition speaks. So that means for me, you'd have to invite more stillness in your life if you want to connect more or to open up your third eye chakra, or at least like be capable to perceive things and not filter them out through emotions if that's something that is resonating with you. Next chakra is the throat chakra, which is the aquamarine here. The stone, you have the Nine of Wands in reverse. Speak from the heart, upright, great card by the way, and the moon in reverse. So, with the Nine of Wands, having entangled thoughts or feelings that need sorting out before expression can take place, needing to vent, and going through a lot. Like, yeah, I wrote this specifically to remind myself that this person who's watching could be going through a lot, and actually, this could be impeding the capacity for you to express clearly, and you'd have to digest a lot of emotions, feelings before you can properly be out there and express yourselves in a very clear manner. Or at least in this case, with this Nine of Wands, having to say or having a lot on your mind to say to people in general, but being unable because, like with this as well, Knight of Swords previously, you could be overwhelmed by the emotion. So, needing to vent out, yeah, so that's probably it for this card. But wait, I have some more, but I have to decipher this. Okay, so I wrote in here, withstanding a lot of pressure and remaining silent still. So I'd say I really hope it's not the case, but you could be like this metaphor of a pressure cooker, a person who is used to withstanding a lot, and being under immense pressure can be very much resonant and about you. But you have to take the lid off. In this case, for me, it means you have to express more. You have to make your truth known. And with this speak from the heart, vent, express as much as possible, as soon as possible. Needing a lot of clarity and talking it all out or writing it all out can be beneficial to some degree. Needing to access and unblock a lot of stored past pent up emotion, feelings, and frustration. So you need to find an outlet for these, because I feel like you'd have to express in this case, like for this pile, most definitely. So especially as well, let's see for the moon card what I have written in here. But it's interesting because the moon as well talks about clarity, and for this pile, clear expression, verbal expression, because throat chakra would happen in your case if you were to shift and sift through emotions and basically find the clarity after the dust has settled. And in this case, the moon is indicative of the fact that it is meant to be like this. You have to go through this phase of lack of clarity, but things will settle and you'd have, first of all, the capacity to basically express clearly. And second of all, it is an invitation as well to speak from the heart. And that means for me personally, you will invite more authenticity into your life. And after this pressure is going to be processed, I believe in your case, you'd feel much more like free, and, there will be a sense of relief or freedom from like this stored charge of emotion. Okay, so we are moving on to the heart chakra, which is rose quartz stone. You have the Two of Swords in reverse. You have the Heritage card and the Three of Wands. So with the Two of Swords, feeling unloved, not ready to open up or to give and receive, closed off as well, afraid, hurt, bad past experiences. So that's what I have written for this card, but I felt in here distinctly. The Two of Swords is a card of like block or closed or unavailable. You could be a person who is really afraid or really reluctant to let people in. And in this case, I believe it would be like quite forceful to say like you should be doing that or this or that. Like keep in mind, you can take that advice for every single chakra, but I truly believe that in your case, you have to gradually work your way through opening these chakras, and it is really a very organic and non-forceful process, and therefore you don't have to create objective in this case. So for you, it would be with the Two of Swords, learning to trust again, learning to establish loving connections and equal exchange of like energy. And I would stress out, most importantly, for you to do it in a very slow manner, because with the Heritage, you have the right, you have your heart in the right place, and I don't think there is something wrong with you merely because you have some negative experiences, even with other chakras as well. Like this is not indicative of a place where we should or shouldn't be. This is only energy check, and if you feel like something doesn't resonate, that's completely fine. With the Heritage, I feel like this is the case of a person who's very much capable of great love, great dedication, kindness, compassion, but you have to simply like work these blocks through, and for you to transition from negative experiences to a brighter future. And that is completely fine. That is a process that needs to take place, and there is nothing wrong with you. Even more so, I can say, the Heritage card is indicative of great treasures in the domain of love, and having a great capacity, as I said, to love and to express that love to others and to oneself as well. So with Heritage, having a lot of love to give, but currently needing to unpack a lot in order to feel open and receiving. Gatekeeping as well. But as I said, gatekeeping in this scenario would be like keeping a distance, a healthy distance, and not being trusty, like not trusting people at first. Like you would be reluctant to let people in, and most likely they would need a lot of like trust from your side in order for them to prove themselves worthy. And still you'd have to work through like some things with the heart chakra. Three of Wands, needing to consciously invest oneself in the unblocking of the heart chakra. So that means for me, if you are interested in the domain of like, how can I cultivate more love into my life for myself and for other people, and how can I give to people in that way, where I don't feel depleted and where I receive that energy back, or really it's talking about an overflowing cup, meaning that when you will love yourself, when you love and have the basic comfort that you need, that would fulfill your needs, you will invite more space, and therefore you will overflow in other relationships, and you'll be giving with that energy to other people, therefore. And I don't see issues, like grand issues, with this process of like unfolding. I see it only as a process, as a journey you should be embarking on, and it's fine. It is very relatable, actually. So, moving on to the solar plexus chakra. To me, having the sun in the solar plexus chakra means everything looks fine on the level of the confidence, self-esteem, openness, and specifically openness to the world as a means of personal assertion. And like the process of it for you specifically might be really pleasant or neutral or even okay. So occupying space and being fond of being shown. So you have the next card, higher purpose. Discover yourself, explore your personality, what makes you you, and what would be considered the highest application for your skills and passions. So you have potential as well in this chakra, like in the sense of like, I don't believe you'd have issues with that. Yeah, so Sun card is really powerful. So the higher purpose, because it's in reverse, I feel or I believe that you have most of the puzzle pieces in that chakra sorted out. But with this higher purpose in reverse, you'd still need some like missing pieces, which are in percentage fewer than the found ones, but still, it being in reverse, you would have to explore, discover, and upgrade in a way. I believe this will happen automatically as you will discover and unblock the other chakras as well. But no need to rush, no need to hurry, enjoying the process as well. So, the last card for this chakra would be the Five of Wands, which has this advice meaning to it. Pursue and okay. So, pursue, continue, and advance, doing your things, doing the things that you have already been doing, in the sense of like, don't be afraid to be out there. The Five of Wands for me is not being afraid to stand out in the crowd, or being your way despite all and everything and everyone. Honestly, to me, the Five of Wands is a very like conflictual card. In this case, you might be having like really foundational desires or ways in which you function, or overall having a very powerful personality. And for this advice, it would be, don't be afraid to be conflictual. Don't be afraid to assert yourself. Don't be afraid to upset people in this case. And do not overlook your creativity. Do not overlook your identity, who you are, what makes you basically stand out from the crowd. Because the Five of Wands is a card of, you will have to basically trust in your own uniqueness. I guess it's not even uniqueness in this case, but trust in your own personality, trust in your own self-constructed like identity, that it is capable of success, it is capable of standing out, and it is definitely capable of attracting attention and even competition with this card. So I would say with this higher purpose, you have a lot of work and potential like new milestones to achieve with this chakra, which I consider to be really fortunate, because we all like when our chakras are open, but there is no such a thing like a perfect alignment for me, and there is always like progression, because honestly, if I were to say like all the chakras are open, you don't have to work on it, I believe it would be pretty boring to exist. And I really like to throw in a challenge, and for you this chakra feels to me like it's all right. And for the most part, I don't think that you have to experience or have been experiencing like from the past low self-esteem or lack of confidence. I feel like having the sun card is like really being proud of who you are, which is awesome. So we're moving on to the sacral chakra, and the sacral chakra has governs the expression of the emotion, the digestion of the emotion, the sexuality as well, the worldly pleasures and the way in which you interact with them, how healthy they are, and creativity as well. Yeah, I think I covered mostly what this chakra is about. You have the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles for me is a 50-50. It's a like neutral situation. And you have as well the creativity card and the Knight of Wands. So I wrote in here, having high bursts of energy that need direction and channeling, repressed, suppressed emotion, potential, or being capable of much, much more than it is currently shown or known. Explore and let your energy be out there, and don't restrict it. Like, let that energy be untamed. Let yourself be untamed, or don't limit yourself. So, why am I saying that? It is really an interesting case for this chakra to have, for this chakra section to have the creativity card, meaning that you might be possessing as a person. Like this could be a very good quality of yours to be creative in general, having lots of like creative potential. That means as well for this pile, you might be the engine of a project, you might be leader of a project, for example, because you might be bringing these ideas to the table that are really revolutionary. But with the Knight of Wands, it feels to me like you're not giving yourselves the freedom of expression, and as a result, this creative force could get blocked or restricted, or even like held inside of you. So it feels to me like, honestly, Knight of Wands is like either chaotic energy or lack of expression. So I would encourage you to express more. I would encourage you to let yourself be in whatever way, shape, or form possible. And if it is about sexuality as well, I would say if you're experiencing blocks or things such as shame, or I don't know if it is relevant really for this pile, but don't be afraid of your sexual expression as well, because it feels to me like for this pile things could look better, because Two of Pentacles in the first, as the first card for this chakra, like if only you'd let yourself like be, basically that's all. And creativity, like it's a very fortunate and powerful card to fall under this category. You just have to let yourself free of restrictions, because this chakra is as well talking about free expression. I would let myself express in all ways possible without restriction. That means if you wanted to be an artist, or if you wanted to sing, if you wanted to be out there in a very controversial way and you never tested it out, I would highly encourage you to do that and to follow your passions, because and to really let yourself feel more. Like for this pile with the sacral, Knight of Wands in reverse. Let yourself feel everything. Let yourself feel the controversial things. Like if you are that person who's really discerning in the idea of what I will feel and what I will allow myself to feel and what I will basically neglect or pretend it doesn't exist, please understand that every emotion is valid. It has its own logic and participation in your experience, and it can be understood and analyzed in such a way that you will see it is perfect and it functions perfectly, it exists, and it has a reason for its existence. So I believe if you were to add this to your tactic or strategy in the future, you'd benefit the most out of this chakra being more open or balanced, let's say. So moving on to the last one, which is the root chakra. With the temperance in reverse, I felt distinctly like you lack groundedness or stability into your life, needing routine, foundations, testing their foundations, or needing to invite more stability, predictability, or routine into their life. Seek to rely on things or people that prove worthy of this and or worthy of trust. Being on the brink of finding the solution with the 10 of cups, I want to say, like, first of all, let me roast you a bit with these two cards. You have movement beyond and the temperance in reverse. So for me, it would be either it is because you're experimenting with some things that are strictly in line or linked to the stability in your life or stability in regards to your finances. But I would highly recommend you cultivate things such as predictability, meaning if you're capable of waking up and creating like a very strict schedule, for example, if you have like a ritual in which you, for example, make your bed, then brush your teeth, and then you make your coffee, for example, and you can, if you can replicate that and have like a evening routine where you do something similar, I would highly advise you to cultivate that because it feels to me like you need more stability into your life. Root chakra is like, even the root word means establishing proper foundations on things that are worth setting foundations on. And for me, that means your small intentions can at times, or small like decisions in life can dictate the overall vibe or feeling, meaning that, for example, if you have a person who is really unstable and you can't really rely on them, but you still kind of like out of lacking that stability, still like try to rely on them, then this is like a really questionable move in your case. And I would retrace my steps and seek out ways in which I can set my foundation, set my trust in things or relationships that are more worthy of this. And it's more like on a mental level, but it's all like as well on a decision level to invite more um, stability. Like you'd benefit from it most likely. But I want to say with the 10 of cups, things in the future look much better because I wrote in here being on the brink of finding the solution or having a future outlook that is really positive. So in your case, I believe you'll have to experiment with things, what brings you stability, joy, and happiness long term in your life, and basically sort things out that are not providing this. And I can say with this 10 of Cups outlook on the future, you will find what is right for you. So I don't think we should be focusing on the problem here as much as finding the solution is really on the horizon for you. So I think that's all for this pile. I hope you enjoyed the reading and I hope it resonated and it brought you a sense of clarity and it was useful. I really hope it was. Make sure to comment down below how you felt about this reading, how you felt about this pile as well. Like the video as well if you liked what you saw and it resonated with you. And subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Check out my old videos there on my channel. I have some great topics and interesting ones for you to check out. And I really hope to see you in the future. Bye!